Me
Um,
too.
Again, Leah, it's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you. And let me just say, in researching you, and I've already heard Zachary. Oh gosh, but you, oh my gosh, can't help loving that man blew me away.
Oh, thank you.
Completely blew me away. And you sang it the way it was supposed to be sung.
Thank you so much
I
for
know
saying.
I cannot stand when I hear opera singers sing jazz standards and don't sing it in the voice that it needs to be in. That is a
Mhm.
big pet peeve of mine.
Me
Yep.
I
too.
understand you have the technique, but you can
Mhm.
apply the same technique and sing it in the way it's supposed to be sung. And you did that song. I've done Showboat. I don't know if you know this, but I've been the Queenie in Showboat, Francesca's Productions, for the longest.
Yes.
And it and just to hear you sing it, it was so good, so
Oh,
good.
thank
You
you,
are so
Angela.
blessed.
Thank
That
you.
voice is ridiculous. And of
Oh
course,
my gosh. Thank you.
Zachary, the man of all talents.
Hey, now.
You do a little bit of everything, sir.
Whatever, you just keep it fresh.
Again, exactly. Exactly. Keep it fresh, keep it going, keep yourself out
Yeah.
there. I understand. I understand. Okay. So thank you for joining me on this Juicy Tidbits Grammy edition. And I'm going to start with the first question. And I'll start with ladies first. Leah, where were you when you found out your project was nominated for a Grammy? And how did you feel at the moment?
Oh my gosh, I was in rehearsals. I have been doing a little bit of directing in the theater.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
and during the pandemic, I was teaching and I'm teaching in a university, my
Mhm.
alma mater actually. And I was directing Steel Magnolias.
Ah.
And I got an email and I stopped the rehearsal and I said, "You guys, I was just nominated for a Grammy twice."
Nice.
Flipped out. It was so exciting. And my
Uh-huh.
whole cast was screaming. Imagine it's Steel Magnolias, so it's all women. So
Right.
we were all squealing. It was so much fun.
Oh, good,
And
good.
it
I'm
just, I'm
glad.
so glad it was for this project too,
Hmm.
because it was so special to be there with those people. And
Hmm.
Gustavo Dudamel and I did my first Verdi Requiem together
Oh, wow.
way back in 2009.
Hmm.
And then this was also my first Mahler 8.
Oh,
So
wow.
hit the two, it was just surreal to do two first big projects with him.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
that made it even more exciting.
That's great. Zachary, same question to you.
Yeah, I it was on my calendar for a long time, and I was sitting on my computer watching that telecast, waiting, just waiting.
Uh-huh,
So
uh-huh. And
yeah,
that's how you found out?
yeah, I was at home on my computer, just like, and
And how did you
yeah,
feel at the moment when they announced the album? How did you feel?
just overjoyed. I mean, that this project has been so special, and I started working on it in 2016, and
Mhm.
and the accolades that I poured in for it, it's beyond anything we could have dreamed of, and it's really special. So,
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic,
yeah,
fantastic. Okay, so I know me. I loved watching the award shows as a kid, and I still do. Have you ever watched the Grammys when you were younger? And do you have a memorable moment that made an impression on you? Let's do Zachary.
yeah. I watch every year. I gotta say, the last year's Grammys were so special. I think part of it was because we were also zoomed out by the pandemic, and it was
Yeah.
just like, oh no, what are they gonna do to the Grammys? It's gonna be terrible. And it was amazing. It
Hmm.
was so
Hmm.
amazing. The performances were incredible, and it seemed like they really seized the moment and used the fact that there was no large live audience to
Hmm.
kind of use the space in a new way and give everyone their own sound stage. And like,
Hmm.
come on, it was great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
those
That's good.
performances. It was Bruno Mars,
Oh
Billie
yeah,
Eilish. Come on now, it was
yeah.
great. Yeah, it was perfect.
What about you, Leia?
I
Any
did
Grammy
not watch
memories?
last year.
Well, I mean, even
But
when you were a kid, did you watch when you were a kid?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But two performances stick out for me. It was well, I mean, do we bring up the Adele Nazim moment with John Travolta and Adina Menzel.
Yeah.
That for sure will be ingrained forever.
Fabulous.
But no,
Yeah.
the ones that touched me the most were Pink's performance of Glitter in the Air.
Mhm.
I don't remember when it was, but when she was flying across
Yes.
that theater.
Mhm.
That one, and then I think Joss Stone and Elton John did the opening.
Oh, Joss Stone, I love her voice.
Me too, girl.
And she doesn't get the credit that she's due. Oh my gosh.
She does not. And she is magnificent. I'm
Yes.
such a huge fan of hers.
Me too.
Oh, love.
Oh,
but those
gosh.
two performances, I think. And of course, when they had all the divas up there, you know, when they had Whitney and Mariah and all those, when the Divas concert was going on, and they had them do their thing at the Grammys, that was incredible.
Well, this is a new, this is not on my list, but being that you guys mentioned your moments that you remember, do you, either of you ever remember when opera was part of the Grammys?
I was just gonna say I gotta rewind and give a shout out to Joyce DiDonato singing that Cenerentola at the Grammys. That was disgustingly cool. Come on.
Oh wow, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that was really special because it was like this is crossing over into pop culture again. And that was really
I
special.
mean, when I was I'm much older than both of you. So I remember when Pavarotti would sing or Leontine Price would sing. But the biggest moment for me was Harlan Blackwell singing Summertime at the opening of one of the Grammys. This was back in the 80s. And I think you can still see it. I think it's on YouTube if you ever want to watch it. Most thrilling thing. And you can just see the audience's response. They were just they never heard anything like it.
Wow.
So it was a great moment for me. That's what I always think. And I've been watching since I watch all the award shows.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's interesting that both of you have non-traditional beginnings in both of your careers. So Leah, let me start with you. You were an acting major in college. And so how did you make that move to opera from acting?
I actually when I was a kid, I knew I was going to be an opera singer. I was 10 years old and I saw Tosca for the first time. And I told my mom in the theater at intermission, I'm doing that. That's what I'm going to do.
Wow.
And she said, okay, let's get you some voice lessons. So I started voice lessons and I just knew that was what I was going to do. So I honestly never took my eyes off of that goal my entire career.
Okay.
I mean, of course, you get into high school and they ask you what your plans are. And of course, they're going to discourage you from going into the arts.
Oh, of course.
In the school, the teachers, they're like, but what do you want your real job to be? I had a teacher tell me that I should be a physical therapist or an architect because I'm a pretty good drawer of graphic things, not like abstract, but like, you know, whatever. But anyway, I knew that was not for me.
Right.
So I just kept going and kept going. And then I ended up getting a degree in theater, but during that whole time, I was still taking voice lessons and concentrating on languages, specifically Italian. So I never stopped. Music never stepped back. It just so happened that while I was getting my degree, my dad was really sick. And the college that I ended up getting my degree from, Siena Heights University in Adrian, Michigan, they were really flexible with me because I had to help with getting my dad to appointments and helping him. So it was amazing to be able to be home and be with my family and get this degree in the arts. And I'm a musical theater nerd as well. So, you know, I played Lucy in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and Mother in Ragtime, and
oh wow,
Mama Noah and Children of Eden. I've done it all. So, but all while still knowing that I was going to be an opera singer. So I never
Wow.
lost sight of that. And when I graduated, I moved to New York, did some auditions. My dad ended up passing away while I was at the Sarasota Young Artist Program. And then when my dad passed away, I had also auditioned for Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, and I was offered a job 3 times.
Wow.
By them, but I had to make a choice.
Yeah.
After my dad died, it was like he was my little guardian angel sitting on my shoulder. And he just, the doors just kept opening and I just kept walking through.
Okay.
So I had to make a choice between going to New York and doing Phantom or taking Marilla, because I had gotten Marilla as well in my auditions. And my mom said to me, I would love to have you close. I'd love to have you in New York, because we were living in Connecticut at the time. But I don't think it's the right choice for you. And so it was like, I'm very, God is very important. My relationship with God is important. And it was like, God sent a message to both of us and said, that's not the right choice. You have to do the opera. So I chose Marilla, and the rest is sort of history. It's like my dad died and the doors opened.
Wow. Thanks for that. Zachary, you also musical theater, started in musical theater. How did that segue into opera?
Well, I was getting my musical theater degree at Ithaca College, and there were no low voice men, so they were like, audition for the operas. And so I kind of dabbled, and then I did Broadway for a number of years, and actually, Philip Glass got me into opera full time as a professional opera singer. Just in 2012, so 10 years ago.
And you talk about low voice, because that Christmas album of yours,
yes,
you are singing some countertenor.
I just do whatever,
up there. That's I was like, wait a minute, how does he go from that? Because one of the I can't remember which one it was. One of the songs you were really, really low, and then you went right up into the stratosphere on this next song. I was like, how the hell does he do that?
Yeah, I've had a big range my whole life, and it just, thankfully, my voice teacher I've been with for 20 years now. She's just like, yeah, you have those notes and you have those notes, and let's all
amazing,
make it sound even and cool. Yeah, I mean, in musical theater, they don't try to classify you and be like, oh, you're this or this or this. So when you're auditioning in musical theater, it's like, I audition for rock tenor roles, I audition for bass roles. They don't care. It's like, what do you look like? Can you phonate this role? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that for you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it kind of keeps you flexible. And then, it's been really cool, I would say, in the past 2 years of the pandemic, because I've been doing so much recording just to experiment and see like what's in there that isn't trying to just fit in a FOC,
I know it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. I was thoroughly impressed. Okay.
Thank you.
So Zachary, you're not singing on your soundtrack, you're speaking.
Yeah.
So I didn't see Akhenaten. I honestly haven't seen it. But were you a narrator of sorts? And what was the experience like? Not to be able to sing. In your opera.
It really feels like singing. It's honestly like Wagnerian in scope. You got to fill that huge house with your voice. It's very demanding. It's a narrator role. A lot of times in productions, it's been an offstage narrator just speaking to a mic, but Phelan McDermott, our director, wanted me fully integrated. And the concept was like, basically I never leave stage and I guide the entire story.
Wow.
And so, I'm on that big old Met or LA or ENO stage, wherever we do it, the whole show, 3 hours. It's brutal and very taxing. And honestly, it's like one of the first operas I've done where I'm like, I really do need that day off in between. There's a lot.
Right. Yeah. That's the one thing I love about the opera schedule. You have those days off. You do the performance, and you have 3 days, 4 days off, and then you come back. Yeah. I've done both schedules. I cannot do the Broadway schedule. I just can't do it. I did it once. I will never do it again. It is very, very taxing. Very taxing. A lot.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot. And Leah, the Mala 8 had 8 soloists. 3 sopranos are amongst the number, and each one has their own character name. So for those who in the audience who are not familiar with Mahler, can you describe your character?
Yeah, so the first half of Mahler of the Eighth Symphony is it's basically it's the first and the second are pretty detached.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all the spiritual stuff in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
The second half is the story of Faust. It's Goethe's Faust. And my character is the Marguerite character.
Mm-hmm.
And she sings these beautiful, I was the second soprano in
Mm-hmm.
it, because when you have Tammy Wilson and myself, Tammy gets the top.
Right.
Plus, I can't float a high C. Never been able to float a high C. That girl can wail up there. So she gets all the side notes.
Okay.
But I honestly related more to the second soprano part in that piece. It's so full of emotion and realness. It's the tenderness that it's very feminine, and the tenderness that she oozes and the innocence is it's beautiful. And I wouldn't want to sing another part. But then you get Erin Morley singing for 8 seconds and she walks away with I think it's like 16 seconds. She walks away with I mean, the whole auditorium just what's happening? Up in the you've sung at LA Phil, there's the big organ behind, pipe organ and all those pipes, and she was up there.
Oh wow.
And it was the most magnificent moment I've experienced on stage.
Wow.
I can't even tell you, it was like an out-of-body spiritual experience to hear that.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to listen to both get the video, watch Doc Naughton, and listen to the Mahler in full. I've only listened to excerpts of both. But so let me ask you this. Do either of you plan on attending the Grammys in California? And if you're not, are you planning your own Grammy watch party?
I'll be there. So it's moved to Vegas.
Oh, it's in Vegas now. That's right.
Yeah, Vegas,
okay.
April 3rd. I will be there.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
I will not be there.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Okay.
It's just surreal to me.
Yeah, it's just surreal. I understand.
So I think, I don't know how it all works. So.
Well, being that you're nominated, I'm sure you're invited.
Yeah, we are. But yeah, I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'll see.
Good. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For the last question. So every artist has given their acceptance speech at one time or another in front of a mirror at home. So I want to give you both the opportunity to give your 30-second or less acceptance speech when your project wins a Grammy. And so here's your chance. Ladies first. Leah.
Oh God. Okay. I'm weird. I've never actually thought about this before.
Oh wow.
I know what moves me on the award shows, and that is, the people that aren't fake. So I'll say, okay, let me get into character here. I'd like to thank the Academy, but more than that, I would like to thank my mom, because she's the one that came to me and said, Leah, let's get you some voice lessons. She's the one that encouraged me my entire life to keep singing and never steered my focus to another focus. She kept me going on that path, and I'm so grateful for her. So Mom, this Grammy goes out to you.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. That's great. Thank you. Zachary, your turn. Your speech.
I'm going to thank Philip Glass. I hear something more powerful than humans in your music. Call it God, call it universe, call it whatever you want, but your music has given me so much life. Thank you to Phelan McDermott for bringing me onto the coolest projects. Thank you to my elementary school music teacher, Pam Serbot, and my high school music teachers, Rick Dasher and Mark Pennington, and my lifelong voice teacher, Carol McCamus. And thank you to my family for letting me know early on that choosing a career in the arts was a career, and just encouraging everyone to keep arts in schools, music, theater, art. It changes lives. Not everyone's going to be an artist, but it makes us have more empathy and it builds community. And we need that now more than ever.
Well, I want to thank you.
That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. That was so good. I bought it.
Yours was wonderful too. Yours was wonderful too. You always want to thank Mom, the one that sent you on the course. So I want to thank you both for coming on for my Juicy Tidbits Grammy edition. I am so excited for both of you, and I wish you all both the best of luck. The best of luck.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.